Yellowstone National Park, Wyoming. Did you know this park is 54 miles long and 63 miles wide, made up of canyons, rivers, and mountain ranges? What a playground. Mr. President, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and very welcome guests. My brothers and sisters and I were born into the Alpha Wolf Pack in April 4 years ago. And although a wolf, I didn't have the typical fierceness that you'd associate with wolves. In fact, I was the quieter type of wolf, and I got lots of jeering from my friends. They would be giving out that I was too placid and I wasn't aggressive or assertive enough. And they called me wimpy wolf. But living in that park was truly magical, having Yellowstone Park as your playground. Our summers were spent roaming through the woods, over the plains, playing games and having so much fun. The geothermal wonder that is Old Faithful provided us with hours of entertainment and sometimes an unexpected shower. The games we played was who could get close enough to Old Faithful before it erupted. And it would faithfully erupt every hour and a half. Now, lacking the courage and the bravery, I tended to lag behind. But it was a wonderful summer. Now, autumn in Yellowstone is enchanting. As quaking aspen and willow explode in their autumnal gowns of golden glory. Autumn for me last year brought many changes. I was unceremoniously cast out from the wolf pack to make my own way in life. Now, I had mixed feelings about this. I was quite saddened that I was leaving my family. But I was also excited that there could be many adventures ahead. The vast networks of trails in the park could discombobulate you. And it brought me to many secluded areas. It also brought me to the edge of the park. As I crossed the boundary, I left the park. Yes, the adventure had begun. I walked down many country roads and I found myself on this really pretty country lane with trees lining both sides. A beautiful sparkling blue lake lay to one side, around which were many animal colonies. There were meadows which spread out as far as the eye could see. This was where I wanted to live. Now, all I needed was to be assertive, to establish my seniority and status among the other dwellers. As I walked down the lane, I came to the first house. It was made of straw. I knocked gently on the door and I said, "I'm new to the neighbourhood. I'm Big Wolf here. Please come out and say hello." I could hear the grunt of a piglet. So again I knocked and said, little pig, let me come in. I'm a friendly wolf and I'm new to the neighbourhood." The little pig replied, "My mummy warned me about big bad wolves. No, I am not going to answer the door. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." How dare he be so unneighbourly? I replied with great gusto, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff even, and I'll blow your house in." So I did. I huffed and I puffed and I blew the house in. The little piggy darted down the lane and I followed. You know, I was quite saddened that he judged me before getting to know me. He went down to a wooden chalet, and again I knocked on the door. Knock, knock. Little pig, let me come in. I'm just being neighbourly, I'm new in the neighbourhood." Two pigs replied in unison, No, not by the hair of my chin chins. When I heard them laughing, it brought me right back to my childhood, to my friends who laughed and jeered at me, at my lack of aggression and assertiveness. Ladies and gentlemen, the anger welled up inside of me. And with great gusto I said, "Well, I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." So I huffed and I puffed and I even fluffed and I huffed and I puffed and I blew that house down. Two little piggies scampered down to a newly built house made of brick. And and I followed them. My wolf instincts made me want to eat those piggies alive for their disrespectfulness. As I followed them down, I took a moment to calm down. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm usually a quiet chap. I'm the calm chap. But here I was, behaving like your typical wolf. How else would I expect these little pigs to react, in fairness? If I wanted them to react differently, I needed to change my actions. As I was contemplating my next move, what I could see out of the corner of my eye was Sly Fox approaching the piglet's house. Quietly and stealthily, he prowled around their home. With great agility, he climbed up the wall and silently landed on their roof. I had a plan. I went over to Little Pig's house and I knocked quietly on the door. I opened the letterbox and whispered, "Sly Fox is on your roof. Put a pot of boiling water in your fireplace and keep it lit." And Little Piglet, being a clever little fellow, said, "It's a trick, we don't trust you." And I said, "I'm going to wait across the lane so you can watch me and I'll keep an eye on Sly Fox." And so I did. I retreated across the lane to where they could see me at the window and I could keep an eye on Sly Fox. After nightfall, Sly Fox made his way to the chimney, climbed down the chimney and was meted by a pot of boiling water. He jumped out the window and I chased him down the lane. I said, "Don't you dare come back here or I'll eat you up alive." Now, there were some wee animal folk who had witnessed this event. The stories went up and down the lane of the friendly, clever wolf. And they all befriended me, and I became their neighbour. But you know, it was my friendliness that won them over. I also think it's an advantage to have a not-so-bad wolf as a neighbour. A week later, I approached the Little Pig's house, and again, I knocked on the door. Little Pig, let me come in. This is your friendly neighbourhood wolf." And the door swung open. And in true fairy tale fashion, we all lived happily ever after.